In this video, I want to give you my entire pre-production process, how I plan our branded documentaries at 24 Stills. Hi, in case you're new here, my name is Ben. I'm the founder and creative director of 24 Stills, a video production company that was founded in Vienna, now expanded to New York City, and is specialized in corporate work like image spots and branded documentaries for brands and companies. So earlier this year, I got a contact to a local soup kitchen here in Brooklyn. They have kind of a fundraiser event later this year, and they asked us if we could produce a brand documentary that tells their work, tells their mission for this fundraiser event. And that's more or less how this whole process started. If you have more questions about this project in general, feel free to put the questions in the comments. So how do you get started in general? I think the first and maybe one of the most important steps is building a story. And when I'm talking about building a story, I think it's very connected to understanding your client's needs. One of the biggest mistakes you can do is just think how you want to tell the story and do not think about your client's expectations and their approaches. So for me, it's very important to understand how the client wants to use the video for, which platform do they want to put the video for, who is going to be the audience, what do they want to achieve with this video, and of course, what is so special about this project, about this client, about this mission that makes it worth to tell the story. The better you understand these things, the easier it is to build a story that makes a good movie, a good film, but also that the client is happy with. So for example, with this project, the main audience are going to be donors at this event. So it's very important for the soup kitchen to show how a day in a soup kitchen looks like, so that these donors get an understanding why it's important to give money to the soup kitchen.
Yeah, we are too, and we just wanna check in with you and discuss a little bit of logistics behind it so that we are all set to go.
One of the key elements in our documentaries are definitely interviews. And the better I understand the client's story, the easier it is for me to come up with specific questions. That's why it's very important to ask in advance who is going to be interviewed. For example, at this project, I got the information that we're going to interview 2 board members and 1 staff. And I think in general, for a 2-minute documentary, it's a good amount to have between 2 and 3 people who are going to be interviewed. And after having my first draft of questions, I like to send these questions to the client and ask for feedback so that they can include their perspective into the questions. In general, I like to ask everyone each question, and I decide later on in the edit who is going to answer which part. If you're interested in learning how I come up with questions and how I conduct my interviews, let me know in the comments. Would love to make an extra video for that. Let's talk about creating a shot list and filming some B-roll. I think for most filmmakers, this is going to be the most fun part when it comes down to pre-production. And again, I think understanding your client needs and understanding the story they want to tell is so important to come up with a good shot list and to come up with good B-roll ideas. And therefore, again, I like to ask as many questions at the beginning as possible. How does an average day look like? How does an average shift look like? Are there special things that are going to happen during a shift? And also for my project now, are there any limitation with filming? What is allowed to be filmed, what not? The better I understand all these things and the more I know about it, the easier it is for me to come up with shot ideas, to come up with B-roll ideas, and to get an understanding what's going to be filmed on set. And after having some B-roll ideas, I like to put all my shots into 2 categories. Category 1 would be shots I need, and category 2 would be shots I want. So therefore I make sure that I get all the shots that I need for this project, but I also like to get creative and think about, if I have time, I would like to try out this and that shot. So for example, at my project now, I'm thinking maybe showing up one day very early at around 5 o'clock when they get the food delivery, so that I can film some shots while everything is going to be prepared. And when it comes down to write a shot list, I like to write down as many details as possible. What is the scene look like? What is the shot look like? Which lens am I going to use? Is it going to be a detail, a medium, or a wide shot? Which frame rate do I want to use? All of this sounds ridiculous, but sets and production can be very stressful, and the better and more I write down, the easier it is to execute all these shots on set. And my pro tip would be, if you have the time, I try always to shoot the interviews before I shoot the B-roll, so just that I know what are people talking about, what could be in the final film, and then it's easier to adapt the final shot list. Let's talk about logistics. So you have your story, you have your questions, you have your B-roll list. Now it's time to plan everything. And this could be, where do you go? When do you film? Do you have a telephone number? Do you have email addresses from people you can approach on the day? How does your gear list look like? Do you have everything that you need for filming? So guys, I want to show you quickly what I packed so far for tomorrow's shoot. We have this big suitcase here with some C-stands and some tripods. A softbox is over here. I try to want to work with one main key light, which is in here. And I have this trolley where it's the whole camera stuff in it. I have the cage for the Sony a7 IV that we are filming right now. Some audio. This is my Sony a7 III as a B-cam. Some batteries, filters and stuff like that. I have my camcorder to record some camcorder footage. Let's see, we live in Brooklyn. And I want to shoot everything on the Sony 85 and the Sony 35, both 1.8. I think this will achieve this kind of documentary look that I'm aiming for. And all of this stored in this handy trolley. So that's it for the shoot for tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions. I will give you more detail later on. I like to say, be as friendly and annoying as possible and ask all these questions, even though maybe they seem silly for you. But most of the times when you shoot with corporate clients, they don't have so much time. And the better you are prepared and the better you know what to expect, the easier it is to be quick on set and to get all the work done that you need to shoot your film. Production notebook. After I have all this information, it's time to write them down in a so-called production notebook. And a production notebook is kind of a document for your client that summarizes all this information in a very good way. From all the logistics, the timetable, the address, the people who are in charge with, the questions, and also what to wear on production day. It helps people to get an understanding what to expect and how working with you looks like. And also to mention, most people are not used to get filmed. And the better you explain to them what's going to happen, the easier it is for them to be prepared and the better the final result will look like.
I would love to have both perspectives. Okay. Which kind of challenges you have, and most important, how you solve these challenges.
Guys, that's it. That's my summary of my pre-production process whenever I shoot brand documentaries with 24 stills. I'm planning to make another video about how I actually film this project, maybe also how I edit a brand documentary. Please let me know if you have any specific questions about this project or also about my process in general. Would love to tell you more about it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one.